Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I just need to do a little searchy search.
Hello and welcome to Let's Pod This. My name is Andy Moore, friends. Welcome back to another exciting episode of our television program. It's mostly a radio program.
It's an audio-visual program.
Oh, an audio-visual experience.
Yeah, yes. That's even better.
As everyone knows, this is my co-host and dear friend, Emily Stacy. Hi, Emily.
Hi, man.
What a week.
I like that we color coordinate today. It's a dreary day, and I've been trying to decide. I mean, I just bought this dress, but it's brown, and so you get that, like, weird fall feeling wearing brown, but also it's like a summer dress. So I wasn't quite sure, so I was waiting for a day like today, and you just happened to coordinate with me.
To wear my fall
Texas orange.
Autumnal orange shirt. What's funny about this is that as I'm getting older now, I always have enjoyed a little bit of flair in my attire.
Absolutely. That's why I enjoy you.
However, the last 6 months or so, I've been very uninspired.
Okay.
And I have just gravitated towards a sense of a uniform, which is basically like jeans or some kind of pants and an Oxford button down.
Yeah.
I have two blue ones, a white one, and this orange one.
Okay.
And it's what I feel confident in right now. I don't know.
Cute.
And I'll tell you what, in college, I remember when this happened, the origin story of my current capsule wardrobe was my sophomore year in college.
All right.
I went on a date, and I wore a blue Oxford shirt and a pair of jeans and some Old Navy flip-flops, as was the style in the year 2000.
2000, yeah.
And,
it's giving 2002 vibes.
And the girl complimented me several times, which was her bad. But I was like, you know what? This is solid. It's like just dressy enough to not be sloppy.
Right.
But I don't have my shirt tucked in. It's very casual as well. I can wear it with Birkenstocks usually. I can wear it with my Adidas shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can wear it with Old Navy flip-flops if I wanted to hate my back for the rest of the week.
Right. Or the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure why I've already had back surgery, but that could be for another consumer capitalism, like, rant day.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that.
The traumas of our childhood and the aughts.
The millennial class action lawsuit against Old Navy flip-flops from the 2000s. Well, we are doing this as our election recap episode.
Yes. Oh my God. Children.
Recording this on Thursday, and I'm saying that because weird news could break this week, because it did. Yesterday.
Some more, yeah. You mean some more could break?
Right,
yes.
some more could break. What I've got here in my hot little hand, our predictions. This is for the ASMR listeners. This is our predictions from last week, and I think we did really great.
We did solid.
And so
we did okay.
I
did okay. You did great.
No,
I did fine.
We did
it just fine.
Identical. There's one we both missed, and everything else I think is fairly close. And so let's just go through this, and then we're going to go top to bottom in the same order as we did before, and then we'll just talk about them each, and we'll say if we got it right or wrong.
Sure.
Well, let's start at the top.
All right, man.
With the governor's race.
Yeah.
We both had Mazie and Keating. Yeah. Well, you had Mazie and Keating.
I had Mazie and Keating. I split
the
middle.
We're gonna keep score.
You won on that one.
1 point for Andy.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Oh,
I guess
my
you were.
God. So, no, not really. Yes and no. So I think I wanted it to be Drummond. He was
the front runner.
We can roll back the tape. I've been asking our homies in Oklahoma journalism for the last literally 6 years if Drummond was going to run. Right, I was very ready, excited, etc. about this. I just wasn't sure. With the Merritt crowd, let's talk about that, right? There were some gags in that race. Like, I was completely gagged that Charles McCall came in after Merrick, who only spent, barely $100,000, where McCall apparently spent millions of dollars to just not resonate with the Oklahoma voters, conservative voters. Just shocking. So, yes, I was wrong. I did expect, I think I was expecting a more punitive conservative vote out. I don't know that I didn't take into account the Democrats who flipped registration, or independents who may have flipped registration to come in and vote for that Drummond, and push him over the top, because really Keating didn't come. I think he ended up with about 18%, something like that, which really overperformed what I think a lot of folks expected from him. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I was holding my breath a little bit on Drummond. So
I mean, I got
Good
this
enough.
right, but
You did.
I could have gone either way.
it was interesting.
I was interesting. I think that for me, the top line is that McCall came in fifth.
Yeah.
With not even 12%, which was
Wow.
unexpected.
So unexpected.
And I think some of this, I mean, I think there were some conservatives who just shifted over to Mazie.
Mazie, yeah.
But I mean, you know, Mazie's still, it's pretty close, right? So
very close.
Mazie has 25.97%. Drummond has 26.26%.
I mean,
so just, I mean, less than
it's
1,000
hair,
votes.
Yeah.
Or right at
This
like 1,100.
was so shaping up to the runoff, and Trace, again, shout out to Montauk, has a really great story talking about and hedging, you know, the runoff, and talking to two Capitol insiders who said, you know, the very opposite thing, that, you know, Drummond's best chance to win is if Mazie is his opponent, and then vice versa. You know, that Mazie's best chance to win is if Drummond is the opponent. And so this next 10 weeks are going to be, you thought the commercials were over, kids.
say.
Oh my Lord.
Right, everyone, even my kids were like, "Does this mean the commercials are over?"
Oh,
I was
no,
like,
honey.
"There'll be a blip."
Yeah.
But
which may be why Stitt is again in the headlines, talking about a special session we noted before we got on here. So yeah, maybe he's gearing up for this really wild, potentially runoff next couple of weeks.
well, I do think
Very interesting.
I think
Oklahoma
my
politics
prediction
fan.
on the ads, what's going to
Yeah.
happen is that, you know, up to now it's been like who could out conservative each other. Mazie's got the
Period. Yeah.
he's
He
got
doesn't
that-
need to do that.
No, but-
Drummond doesn't need to do that anymore.
Well, he can't
Well, yeah.
because
he needs
Mazie
to
got
pivot.
he got the Trump endorsement, but Drummond can't run as a moderate because the turnout
Yeah.
for a runoff is smaller.
Yeah, notoriously low.
So, you know, turnout for this was
26.
Yeah,
Yeah,
percent,
26%, yeah.
Turnout for the runoff will be 10, 12,
Maybe.
And,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the diehard. So Drummond
Yeah.
still has to be conservative.
He
I
sure
think what
does.
the ads are going to be is a lot more character attacks.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be
Going to the
questioning
records,
decisions.
yep.
Both of these guys,
Yep.
both Mazie and Drummond, have been in elected office for a number
Yeah,
of years.
so they have
They
the
come with
receipts.
some baggage.
Yes. The receipts are public, kids.
they have some personal stuff that will come up.
They do. I wonder how bad the wife stuff gets with Drummond.
I think it's going to get, there's going to be some information that I know a lot of political insiders are already talking about.
Yeah.
We're not going to
No, of course
share
not.
rumors
No,
on
no.
this program.
No,
How
we are
dare
not.
we?
No speculation.
But you will know when it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I will say immediately, so I was on Fox 25 on Tuesday night. We were on like YouTube and Facebook, and immediately after we wrapped, that was where the conversation went.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I can't believe this didn't come out already. It's
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
And I think it will be a very competitive and perhaps interesting
I agree.
runoff.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
they're both Republicans, but I would argue that they're pretty different Republicans.
No, yeah, the flavors of conservatism are wildly different.
And it's just fascinating, like
Yeah.
how can you both present yourselves as like two sides of the same coin
Yeah.
that are very different?
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know how I can't.
I don't know.
I was using some kind of Oreo analogy, but it doesn't work. Anyway,
Oreo analogy. It's like Dutch chocolate and dark chocolate.
I guess.
Dutch chocolate and milk chocolate.
Yeah.
When the nuances are incredibly
Right, but-
minute.
Yeah, well, one of them
Right.
tastes like dirt and something. So we'll find out. But yeah, great. And then on the Democratic
say
side, Cindy Munson ran away with it as
Oh
we
yeah,
both
yeah. We
expected,
predicted
so.
that one. Yeah, we love Connie Johnson. She was a great state senator. I wish her messages resonated more with the people of Oklahoma. I mean, if you go back in Oklahoma legislative history, she was the one proposing marijuana, policy long before it was put to a vote of the people. There was a year that the Senate subcommittee on HHS didn't meet effectively because they didn't want to consider legislation on marijuana.
And the hard part is that that's kind of been
It's
her
just
bailiwick.
interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
And that was very relevant 10 years ago, and it's
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Governor T.W. Shannon ran away with
Yeah.
it. Golly, he mopped the floor. So
Yeah.
we both got that one. We knew that was
Yeah,
coming.
That was kind of gross, actually. Like, I mean, I think we knew, but like also, there were some decent gentlemen who were running in that race.
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt some type
Yeah.
of way. I wish it had been more competitive, I guess. But also, yay, I'm pretty sure T.W. Shannon's going to be the first African American lieutenant governor.
Native American, too? right?
Native American,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Multiracial, I suppose I should
And
say.
he's
So,
someone
yeah,
who is,
very interesting.
politics aside, is like generally, I think, well liked.
Yeah,
in the
oh yeah,
state.
absolutely.
Um,
You don't
I-
get to DC from this state
Right.
without being well
No,
liked.
he's got
in
enormous
circles.
relationships.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if the job of a lieutenant governor, I think this is interesting that I haven't really heard anyone talk about yet, but we always joke that the job of the lieutenant governor is to do tourism, right, to promote the
right,
state
right?
and to run for governor.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and depending, he also didn't form an alliance with either one of these candidates. But I do think the tribal element
Yeah.
will be interesting.
I do too, but also he was in the legislature at the same time as Mike Macy, so that's not
Ooh.
something that we can discount.
I would like.
I
need
don't
a-
know how many years they overlapped, but they overlapped some years.
I need an intern to go do a deep dive through the archives and look at how often
Sean
they-
Ashley would know.
Yeah. Well, how often they voted together or
Oh,
voted
that for
differently.
sure.
And if there were
Yeah.
any news articles back then of them beefing in the
That
press.
that's a Sean Ashley. We can go back to in the archives of E-Capital,
Yeah.
Quorum Call,
That would be
and get
interesting.
that pretty easily.
But I mean,
I love
but
us. Like,
I
I'm
think-
literally texting Sean Ashley
Yeah.
right now.
I think Drummond has some strong ties to
Yeah.
the tribes.
Oh, yeah.
The tribes have not yet got involved in these races either, right? Like they didn't endorse anybody in the primary.
Not official, not publicly.
I think
Like we'd have to go through
I don't think they spent any money
the
either.
filing. Really?
and I think that's because McCall was still in the race.
That's
and
fair.
and he has
We'll
big-
have to look at that.
Yeah, but
I'd be interested.
I would expect perhaps between now and the runoff, that
Yeah,
the tribes might weigh
they'll
in.
make their I
And
think they'll make their
that's a big deal.
voices known. Yeah, I agree.
All right, so moving on down the ballot,
Very interesting.
Attorney General,
Close.
Attorney General nominee on the Republican side, John Eccles,
Yeah.
won that
I mean,
handedly, but not
right.
wasn't a blowout.
No, it wasn't a blowout. What 55?
I've got it right
something
here.
like that.
Yep. So strong enough that it's So Eccles got 55% on the dot, and Starling got 45%. So a pretty. I don't know if that qualifies as a mandate. I think 60% is my mandate threshold.
Not a mandate, but it is good for this race. Again, when we look back at how much money was spent, especially in that last couple of weeks, man, those anti-Eccles ads and the pro-Starling ads were prevalent. There were many of them.
And you texted me the other day
lot of
that
money.
you saw like an ad. I forget which candidate. We'll just say like an ad for Jeff Starling and an ad against Jeff
Yeah.
Starling, and neither of the ads were funded by Eccles.
Actual candidates.
It was like by just outside groups.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to the end of the month when all of the new campaign finance stuff gets
Agree.
filed. We'll get a much better picture
how
much money was spent.
Yeah,
I mean,
how
we
this
know
played
it's the
out.
most expensive
Yeah.
race in
right.
state
What did
history.
they decide 50?
55, 54, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Million?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, obviously, add the million.
And I mean, think about
crazy.
just to go back to the governor's race. These candidates like Keating and
Yeah.
McCall, who spent millions of dollars of their own money.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, McCall owns a bank, so
Sure.
I think he'll be okay.
He owns a bank.
But
It makes it sound like he's just going to open the vault.
I don't know how it works. But I don't think that's what's happening.
Speculation.
He's got some life, some
Yes.
years ahead to make it back.
Yeah.
And I would imagine
Yeah, he's young.
These guys may be angling for an appointment somewhere or they're not done with politics.
No, McCall is certainly not.
I mean, they could be some sort of we don't really have ambassadors, but like a
Secretary.
something,
Yeah.
right? Finance secretary,
Yeah.
some kind of cabinet position,
Sure.
agency head.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But I mean, we joked on TV the other night that the big losers here were these guys' kids who don't get to inherit this money after after their dad or grandpa blew it on the race.
Terrible. Yeah, if I were McCall's kids,
They'll be okay.
it would be Lord of the Flies at some point.
My kids are the ones that will suffer.
It's summertime.
It's the summertime.
The children are bored. You better keep
Do you
them.
think Charles McCall will grow a beard now? You know how like when guys lose, they go grow a beard.
No, I think that he will actually. So I think he'll revert back to his normal
Slick.
buttoned up.
Yeah.
Right. As we've talked about, I really think it was that disingenuous, down home style. Right.
He was wearing the Oxford.
He was,
Trying to dress like me.
and the Carhartt, right, all of that. It just was so
Yeah.
not real. It wasn't
No.
real. It. Sorry, it made me cringe. It was cringy.
Yeah,
So no, I think he'll do the opposite. I think he will go back to his Brooks Brothers,
to the
buttoned
bank.
up. Yeah, back to the bank.
to the bank.
That's right.
If
That's amazing.
only we all could do that. Speaking of banks, state treasurer.
doubt.
So this was incumbent Todd Russ lost to challenger
So this was a
state
blowout.
auditor. It was a pretty significant here.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy Byrd won with 61.66% of the vote.
That's your mandate.
That is a mandate.
That's your mandate, sir.
And I mean, well, there it is.
Was it just the scandals, you think? I mean,
I haven't
in the
heard a
last couple
single
of-
positive thing about Todd Russ from anybody.
you know,
But to be fair, I haven't heard much of anything about Todd Russ.
Yeah,
and I think
as we said.
this is a limitation of the office.
Yeah.
Is that the things we did see Todd Russ in the news for were about his push to get out of the ESG or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
To like not to block state pension funds from investing in environmental,
Right.
social justice-y causes.
Right.
So like
Right.
you can't not allowing them to invest in wind and solar. You can only invest in oil and gas.
Gas, right.
Which is a political move, not a good fiduciary move.
right.
And so I think that fell flat with voters if they knew about it.
Sure.
But
If
Cindy-
they knew about it.
But Cindy Byrd was in the news.
Yeah, she was doing good things that Oklahomans want to hear about, right? Cleaning up government and
Right,
uncovering
right.
scandals and embezzlement and
Right.
money we lost. And yeah.
You're uncovering waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah.
And I think the state auditor, especially Cindy Byrd, has been in an interesting position where, both the governor and the attorney general, Gittner Drummond,
Yeah.
have called on her.
Yes.
Like, we're asking, state auditor Cindy Byrd to do this and to do that. And so she gets to be their like bulldog on
Yeah.
these things, which only helps her.
Yeah.
And then just in the last few weeks before the election, the governor called for an outside firm to do something because he didn't want to give it to Byrd because he didn't want that to help Drummond, right? It was
Right.
Like, he was like, I don't trust you. You guys are in cahoots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is funny. And so I think it'll be interesting, if Drummond pulls this off and let's say he wins the runoff and the general,
Yep.
then you've got Drummond and Byrd in there.
I could see her being Oklahoma's next female governor, TBH.
But here's the question. She's got a platform as auditor.
She does.
She loses that when she becomes treasurer. She goes onto the quiet side, right? Unless she finds a way.
I think she's savvy enough to find a way. She's been an impressive politician throughout her tenure. So I think she's smart enough to, if she has longevity or wants that longevity, she's going to make a way.
Yeah.
There's a way. Ken Miller did it. There are ways for state treasurers to stay in.
Relevant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a look at my checkbook.
seriously,
The
right?
state's checkbook.
The kids and the kids fund. We don't see any of those cute little commercials anymore. And he only would pop in for like 5 seconds. Even Randy, what's his last name? I can see his face. McDaniel, thank you. Also did some of those commercials, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was all about you take a certain type of politician. You have to have that momentum and motivation to keep yourself relevant.
Other famous government treasurers,
I'm good.
Alexander Hamilton.
Please don't break into song.
I'm not going to sing. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
This show
great.
we would lose both of our listeners. Tank.
Not both of them.
All right. But no, one of them will hang on just to write me nasty grams.
Man, so
State superintendent.
dude.
So this was interesting.
I think, didn't we split the difference on this one too, or did we not?
We did, yeah. So you predicted it would be a runoff between John Cox and Adam Pugh.
I was way wrong. On
I
that
predicted Robert Franklin and John Cox.
Okay.
Cox did not make it.
He did not.
To the runoff.
I was a little gobsmacked by what had happened.
Franklin did, though, so 1 point for me.
Franklin did, and I like him a lot, TBH.
I do, too. But Pugh, I mean, I would have expected him to do well.
I was surprised that...
He finished 5th.
He did.
Pugh only got 11.47% of the vote, which surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, me included.
And I think some of that has to do with that he is from a metro area.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in
OKC
or even Edmond, like, I think it's still...
The rules don't...
Yeah. Franklin, because he's from... Oh, what school? Not in the metro.
The Deer Creek area, isn't he?
Like
he's pretty up there.
Just outside enough, I think, that has some credibility. Robert Franklin, though, I mean, he goes to runoff with only 22.6%.
Yeah, and this was a close one, though, right? Between...
Yeah, so he'll be in the runoff against James Taylor, who got 19.68%.
And then Cox is right after that, right?
18.41%.
Wow,
yeah.
Man.
And then Tony Hassenbach was 4th with 16.6. So
Golly.
I mean, you know,
that's wild.
With only one candidate over even 20%, that's pretty wild.
I'd be interested to go back to McFerrin's numbers on that and see
see how it shaped up.
Because that was one, again, that we talked about. There were just so many unknowns.
Yeah. But these, I mean, Franklin, Cox, Hassenbeck, and Pugh were all pretty well known
within certain circles.
Yeah. And then, as it turns out, the guy who's second place that's going to this runoff, James Taylor, is a perennial candidate. He's run several times before.
Gobsmacked is the proper word for me.
That's how you feel about
Gobsmacked.
him? I mean, a lot of people were shocked.
Gobsmacked.
Because my understanding is he's more of a Ryan Walters. Like a bit of a
I was perplexed, let's say, at some of the policy initiatives that he put forth, promulgated at the debate.
I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin for him. I can't imagine. But
I don't know, dude. Franklin has been painted as sort of this, and I need to do his background, right? Yeah. He doesn't. Is he from the East Coast originally?
I have no idea.
I get very East Coast vibes from him. I may be completely wrong. This might be speculation. I need to do his bio, but the way he speaks gives me like New Jersey, New York. Like I love that. I'm a hidden East Coaster.
Robert Franklin.
But like I don't know. He does seem very, if not centrist, conservative. Perhaps was a Democrat at one point, and so I'll be very interested in this race. And
again, I think it'll depend on the turnout
particularly for top of the ticket.
I think especially the public education community is really going to be involved here.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
On the Democratic side, we were both wrong. We both expected Craig McVeigh to win.
Wow.
And he did not. And I think a lot of people were shocked by that.
Certainly was.
At least on the online discourse, being what it is, the expectation was that Franklin, or the push was for Franklin on the Republican side and McVeigh on the Democrat side. People feel like they're both very strong advocates. Yeah. And I think this is your point, is they often made an equation of people would say, I don't care which one wins. Well, if Republican voters hear Democrats saying, we don't care if it's this guy or the Democrat, they're like, well, what's wrong with this guy?
This guy, right. Exactly. So, yeah.
But he didn't win. The woman that won on the Democratic side.
Janetti. Is it Mix something? Is it another Mix something?
Could be. I'll pull it up while we're talking. Jeanette Marshall.
Marshall, I'm sorry.
And she's like a former Tulsa Public School Board member. She was there and helped uncover some of the waste, fraud, and abuse up there. All right, moving on down. Labor Commissioner. You had predicted that Kevin West would win. I had John Pfeiffer. We were both a little bit right. They both go to a runoff with each other. So it's a wash.
Again, really, I mean, were there just too many races and too many conservatives this year? This is a lot of runoffs.
It is. I mean, they both, West got 42%, Pfeiffer got 35%, and I think this is a position that most people don't know much about.
Sure.
They might know Leslie Osborne, who's been labor commissioner. Keith Swinton ran against her, like 8 years ago. But I think now it's between two legislators who know each other pretty well. It'll be a somewhat interesting race.
I agree.
Hopefully, it's one that's on the merits. I don't hope
Yeah.
it gets like dirty. Or
I'd like
ugly.
to see a debate between those two.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. All right, insurance commissioner, you had predicted a runoff between Marty Quinn and Chris Meredith.
Yep.
I predicted a runoff between Marty Quinn and Greta Schuler, and we were both wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
This race was also a relatively even split.
Yep.
You had Bob Sullivan came in first with a little over 37%.
Yep.
Marty Quinn came in second with 27%. So like
Yeah.
I guess that's a push. Not
Yeah. We split it.
and Marty Quinn, a former legislator as well. And so, I think we talked about early on that there's a chance that we could have former legislators win
Everything,
statewide.
yeah.
We'll see if that plays out. But I think that's another race where everyone in this race, at least from my read, seemed like kind of qualified.
Yeah. Competent. They'll be okay.
Yeah. And
Be
so,
all right.
and it's tough, for Greta Schuler as a first-time candidate
Yeah.
who was not well known. She came in third, just a few hundred votes ahead of Chris Meredith, who I think
Okay.
was a name that had more name
Yeah.
recognition. So,
Yeah.
this is not a partisan
heartening.
statement. I always hope that first-time candidates who really care about the
Yeah.
job will consider running again in the future.
Agree.
It's
we
tough.
need that.
You have to wait 8 years, which
Yeah.
can be a lifetime.
Yeah.
But I think that's interesting. Okay, moving on down. Corporation Commission. One of the unsung, super
Yes.
important roles in our state that we don't
Agree.
talk enough about.
Agree.
We both said it would go to a runoff. Oh no, excuse me, not a runoff. That on the Republican side, Brad Bowles would
Yeah.
win, and he did with
Yeah.
a little over 55% of the vote. So points to both of us. And the Democrat side, Wendy Eastman.
Yeah.
And she won, right?
I don't know that she was opposed. Was she?
I thought there was somebody.
Maybe there
Yeah, because
was.
I saw it on the ballot.
I'm telling
I need to look in my. I really appreciate our state election board and the the way that they put the results online. It's quite handy.
Yes.
If I can,
They're
just
very quick about it. Our
It
our
is,
election
yes.
board is
Oh, yeah, there were-
unmatched.
There were
dude.
3 candidates here,
Okay, I lied.
and not. I think I said Wendy
Meh.
Eastman. It's
Yeah.
Rhonda Eastman. My
Rhonda,
apologies
okay.
to Miss Eastman. She got 70% of the vote.
Jeez. All right.
Off the table.
Good for you, sister.
Perennial candidate, 5-time candidate,
Yeah.
Harold Spradling,
Oh yeah.
at the ripe old age of 91.
He is. Yes.
Can you imagine running for statewide office at the age of
I think
91?
I've interviewed him like 20 years ago at the Capitol.
Well, he's
whenever he
run
was
5
running.
times, yeah. And they serve 6-year terms. It's been a while.
Crazy. Yeah.
I don't know that he really campaigned, but he came in second. So maybe just from name recognition,
Name recognition
alone.
Yeah.
Let's come back to state question 832.
Yes, please.
We'll keep with the candidate thing. U.S. Senate. We both
Yeah. Hearn.
picked Hearn,
Yeah.
and Hearn was the election heard around the world. He won quite handedly,
Absolutely.
which is a little surprising. I mean, there were some other competitive.
There were very great candidates, prolific candidates in that race,
In
but
that
he
race.
handily won it.
And then on the Democrat side, you predicted Jim Priest,
Yep.
and I predicted a runoff between Priest and Thomas. I don't even know how to score this. There is a runoff between Priest and Thomas.
Good. You win.
I mean, you're not wrong, though.
I mean-
I'm going to give 1/2 of a point to myself.
Okay.
Because you were correct. And
That's great.
I think that's going to be a really interesting runoff.
I agree.
Tough. I think name
Yeah.
recognition's a thing.
Yeah.
And they've got to know, like, in order to try to compete with Kevin Hearn,
Mm-hmm.
you need Kevin Hearn to die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
I mean, it's, yeah.
or like a baby out of wedlock, something that
There's
is
something massive,
very
yeah.
not Kevin Hearny happen.
An alien invasion.
An
Something-
alien invasion, right.
Something needs to happen, yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
be tough. Kevin Hearn is.
It'll be, yeah.
Someone, a Republican this morning, described him as remarkably boring.
Uh-huh.
And who is already
But you want
well
that.
established
Yeah,
in Washington.
Exactly.
And I expect he'll go to Washington, and we just won't hear much from him. He'll be in the news some,
Yeah.
but I mean, we
It'll be
don't.
a Langford.
Yeah, yeah,
I think they'll make a good partnership.
yeah.
They'll be just fine.
Yeah, him and Langford, we'll see him on the airplanes occasionally in the airport or whatever, and he'll. Although, I mean, it may depend on what happens with the U.S. Senate. All this to say,
That's true.
Oklahoma is not in play in terms of like
Lord, no.
flipping the Senate for the Democrats.
No, we are not.
And then I'm going to come back to
Are you going to come back?
CD1.
Okay, I was wondering how you were going to navigate that. Okay.
Should we?
Okay.
We'll come back.
CD2.
CD2. The rest of them
the rest of them are the incumbent.
Burkeen, we knew he was
Right.
going to win. He
Obviously.
did. Lucas
Yeah.
won. Cole
Cole,
won.
yeah.
Those are all.
Duh.
Those all got called pretty early in the night.
Yeah.
CD5, there was not a Republican primary. Stephanie Bice
Mm-hmm.
was unopposed. And we both expected Gina Nelson to win, and she did.
Yep.
On the Democratic side, this was, I feel like, a decently contested race.
It was.
For the Democrats, but Gina got 57% of the vote
Yeah. Pretty good.
over Trey Martin, who is, again, a newcomer.
Yeah.
So didn't have name recognition
No.
or a base built in.
Right.
And was really there to be kind of an antagonistic
Mm-hmm.
character. Whether or not that changed the conversation, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I don't think so.
But we do know that it'll be Gina Nelson and Stephanie Bice in CD5
Who-
for November, which might be interesting.
For me, look remarkably interchangeable. So I need, I don't like, I can.
Women of a certain height,
And
dark
brunette.
hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There needs to be some good branding happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have a very different approach to retail politics.
Yeah.
I
fair.
did think it weird. So, like, obviously, Gina Nelson is going to, and Democrats will accuse Stephanie Bice of, like, not being present and not coming to things.
Sure. Yeah.
But the Oklahoman ran a story about this and literally put in the image. It said, image not provided for Stephanie Bice. And I was like, Oklahoman, why wouldn't you just use her, like,
Oh my God. Yeah,
Headshot.
her congressional picture. Yeah.
which is what everyone would use. It was real. I mean,
Oh,
I was like,
that's
did you ask for one? It was
pithy.
real pithy.
No.
So
I
that was
love that.
unusual, but
Okay.
it was because that big empty box
Yikes.
on social media was
That's
funny.
That's a choice.
Okay, well let's do.
Choices.
So now we've got two things left to talk about.
things left.
Three things. We're gonna talk about CD1,
CD1.
state question 832, and then just discuss turnout and
Yeah.
And our-
oh my God.
what we think is gonna happen, and then
Oh
we'll
my
wrap up for
God,
today
I
because I
love
think all of our listeners are tired of hearing about the election. We'd like to.
I mean, look, if you're tired of hearing about the election,
You're on the wrong
then-
show.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is important. And I, again, am still lamenting the fact that there was not a full-on broadcast of the primary election results. Like, I am
Oh,
that diehard of a nerd that I went home looking for you on Fox News.
Right.
I went to OETA looking for Sean Ashley, and there was nothing there. I was really disappointed because I like I will sit and watch
Yeah.
MSN or
Yeah.
MS Now or whatever the hell they
Yeah.
call themselves, right? And watch all of that data come in, and I want to see the big board, and I want to hear us talk about
Yeah.
the potentialities and what's going to happen next and whatever. I'm a nerd. I like that. So big miss Oklahoma media not having people talking, and I get it. Andy mentioned that soccer is happening, but I don't care. I don't care.
I was hoping-
This is my soccer.
Yeah.
Primaries are my this is
is your
my
World Cup.
This is my sport. All right, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
You're fine. Okay, so we
Oh, Lord.
we thought that
We thought right. We thought correctly.
we did. So we thought Laymeyer. Well, I thought it would be a runoff between Laymeyer and Kim David, and you thought it'd be a runoff between Laymeyer and. Or did you just say he'd come in first and someone would be second? I can't even read my own handwriting,
I don't
which is
know.
embarrassing. Let me pull it up on my phone.
I can't remember.
Who is this?
Is that Cochran? I think Jed Cochran.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right, Jed
yeah,
Cochran.
I liked his congressional
Yeah,
staff.
so I think it's a wash
Yeah.
because we both got Laymeyer in there, and then we're wrong about the other one.
Yeah, but also.
But also, Laymeyer's not in there anymore.
So
we were right that he was one of the front runners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He had the Trump endorsement. He was
Trump endorsement.
right.
He actually came in second in the race, following Mark Tedford,
Tedford, yeah.
former legislator. And then, of course, as I'm sure our listeners know by now, because it really went off like a bomb yesterday afternoon.
Well, it started before that, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I guess since our last episode.
So, yeah, since our but I mean, even before we voted, the Daily Mail story had come out with the text messages.
Right.
Go ahead and finish until and then I can, give all the tea.
Oh, I was going to say, so we did our episode last week, and then was it on Sunday?
Sunday, Monday, I think. Into Monday.
I don't want to be crass to you or our listeners, but
Oh, please.
I turned 45 this year, so I'd have my first colonoscopy because I care about my health.
Good for you.
My results have just come in while we're sitting here, so I'll read those later. But suffice to say, I had some time on my phone this weekend.
Did you now?
And that's at weird hours of the
Sucks.
night, and that's
Yeah.
when the news came out, and I was reading it. I was like, oh my gosh. So Jackson Lehmeyer, a news story came out in the Daily Mail, which is a
Right.
British tabloid.
Yes, it is. It's a British tabloid that really should
Pastor
not have.
from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Trump endorsed pastor from Oklahoma.
Love it.
Has a bit of a. At first, it was just a texting
Flirtatious text message relationship
with a former Miss
Miss
Oklahoma,
right?
and then
Who happened to be either volunteering for him or perhaps was on
doing-
staff at
doing
one
some
point.
fundraising.
Yeah. And then he vehemently denied it, right? He, at first, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't happening, et cetera, et cetera. But then he owns up to the text messages and says, okay, cool, yes, it was, we were
he
just
just had
having.
to cross the line.
Right, he crossed the line. We have the election. He comes, he does very well in the election, gets to the runoff, and then this former Miss Oklahoma, I would assume has receipts because most smart
Yes,
women
I saw
and Jesus and everybody have
They were in
receipts.
I just want to know how this story ended up in the Daily Mail.
I mean,
Like,
if I'm not mistaken, that's another Murdoch publication.
yeah, but so bizarre for Oklahoma, for them to do it, because I first saw it on like the Independent or someone like
Yeah.
that, some other British.
Sure.
And then they linked the Daily Mail.
That's great.
And then I saw some U.S. publication
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, and I was like, this is bananas to
Yeah.
me. But there were screenshots of their text conversation, and at first it just seemed like they were maybe flirtatious,
Yeah,
a little
except for
emotionally
that
involved.
Creepy selfie of his.
He sent a
which-
few weird selfies. Little Blue Steel action going on
Ugh.
if you're a Zoolander fan.
God.
But then he, at some point, like
terrible.
admitted, or it kind of came out there was some physicality.
Yeah.
Some little kissies.
Mer.
Miss those lips, that kind of thing.
Mer.
Which I mean,
Mer.
who knows?
Mer.
We're not in the room or in the bedroom or whatever.
Wherever.
Hallway at the hotel, who knows? But this is a guy who is a
Pastor, right.
of a big church in
Uh-huh.
Tulsa. He created Pastors for Trump.
Yep.
Has kind of run on arguably a platform of moral fortitude.
Yeah, faith, family, freedom, I
Right,
would.
yeah.
The three F's, if
Right.
you will.
And once again, I mean, this is it's almost like a Hollywood formulaic.
It's pretty
Right.
on brand, yeah.
I'm to the point now, I'm like, there are good men of faith and women
Absolutely,
of faith who have served.
sure.
But I don't always know that they're like pastors because they're good at their job otherwise too.
Right.
But now
Which is lovely.
if someone comes out, I don't care their political affiliation, if a
Right.
pastor comes out with huge political aspirations, I am suspicious.
Concerned, yeah. I agree. I don't know where in both the state and at the national level we stopped respecting that separation, right, between church and state,
Mm-hmm.
and just it's become all
Mm-hmm.
in one. I mean, that Christian nationalism is really the brand.
And
these
this is a
days,
wild
and
thing
so
too.
It just
I didn't realize this till I was reading one of the interviews. It said that that Lohmeyer proudly describes himself as a Christian nationalist unless certain other groups are describing him that way. And it was like, so you're okay if you say it, but you're not okay if Democrats say it. It was just I was like, that
Right.
seems like, why would you say that out loud? I think, Emily, I think we should launch a new movement
problematic.
called the MAMA movement, MAMA, for Make America Moral Again.
Yeah.
We
I like that.
We do need some sort of like resurgence of true ethics in
Yeah.
terms of personal conduct, campaign finance, ads, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of ads, Pat McFerrin was on on Fox with me the other night, and he pointed out that in 2018 there were no negative ads in the primary. It wasn't until the runoff with
This Bullstead.
the Bullstead
Yep.
ad was the first
Yep,
negative
yep, yep.
ad, which is wild today because it felt like 2/3 of them were all negative ads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too liberal for
That's
Oklahoma.
interesting. That is interesting.
Okay, so anyway, so Lohmeyer has
Out.
Out.
He is out. He decided that he was going to bow out yesterday morning-ish. It seems right. I think that as far as what I've seen on the social medias, it seems like more is going to come out of this story.
right.
And
Where there's
so-
smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. So I of course, I hope that's not the case. But
Well, and he finished second.
yeah, he did.
And so you're coming in second, and then you're already like wounded in this way.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened first here, but President Trump
Yeah.
rescinded
He
his
sure.
endorsement.
Well, it was all one post.
Well, I thought he did that, and then like 9 minutes later, Lawmeyer formally stepped back.
Oh,
So-
maybe he did. Oh, in what order that happened?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Trump both rescinded his endorsement and then endorsed, there we go,
Yeah.
Tedford in like one truth.
Yeah, that's right. He
social
did. Yeah.
post, which I found to be
Trump's
amazing.
about face was all in one post.
Efficient.
And everyone's like, oh, does this mean that Tedford is
There
a
we
real
go.
Trumper? And I was like, I don't.
No,
He's
I
not as conservative as Lawmeyer. Tedford's, I've heard him described as like a less rich Kevin Hearn. Like, again, someone who's like kind of
Commonsensical,
common
kind of
sense,
boring,
kind of
vanilla.
Right.
Right.
Not someone who's trying to make a name
Maybe
for
more
himself.
of a fiscal conservative. What we used to call like a fiscal
Yeah.
Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
Like commonsensical conservative.
Wow, that we would refer to Paul Ryan as like a
I know, right?
reasonable
Welcome.
Republican.
Welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So
Careening
that
towards
means that
2028.
Tedford advances.
He sure does.
And that
Yeah.
essentially has that 1-1. I think
think
there's
so.
a Democrat, but we know
I think
how it's going
there's
to
a
go.
Democrat. I love you. That was great.
And then it's Tulsa. I don't pay super close attention.
That's fair.
And I have so much time. I only have so much time, and I can't.
Amen.
You know, we'll look at it when it gets to November.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other last thing, of course, as it was the last thing in the ballot box, state question 832 to raise the minimum wage.
I was wrong. Deeply wrong.
You were wrong. And I think this one, I mostly said no because I wanted some contrast. But as I believe I said, we could go to the tape. But I thought it'd be really close. It was not as close.
It was not as close as I thought it was going to be.
Hoped it would be.
Yeah.
So they, I'm trying to pull up on my phone here, but essentially 832 went down pretty handedly. Why do you think that is, Emily?
I don't know, man. Honestly, the dystopian ads that were really focused on the rising of inflation and costs associated, and I also think the more effective one was the East Coast, the East and West Coast are going to be
right.
involved in
California,
your
New
minimum
York,
setting your
yeah.
wages. That kind of stuff spooks folks like Oklahoma who understand that there's this sort of reverse grapes of wrath going on economically, where folks are moving to places like Oklahoma because of our low cost of living, et cetera. So I'm willing to eat that. Obviously, I was wrong, but I honestly felt, and I still feel like the wave and the political environment that we're in right now, the affordability crisis, all of the things that are not going to get any better remedy themselves, even within this election cycle, perhaps not even in the next. I thought it would lead Oklahomans to a more thoughtful decision about this. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there's a couple of systemic things here.
Okay.
First of all, we should remember that 832 qualified for the ballot in late August of 2024. Biden was still president back then.
Okay.
They fully expected, and rightly so, that it was going to be or should be on the November 2024 presidential ballot. There was enough time. What happened was that the Secretary of State's office kind of slow played signature counting, and then notification, and the governor delayed, and then he didn't announce when it would be on a ballot until after the deadline, and basically said, and I think the campaign even sued and said, no, we've got time, you should put on this ballot, and it got punted. And so I think there was some political malfeasance, some politics.
It's a good word.
That happened.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the fact that our initiative petition process is very squishy.
Yeah, I agree.
And a campaign has almost no power over the timeline at all.
No.
That you leave this up to the politicians and they're going to mess with it.
Sure.
So there's that thing. And then because of that, in these intervening 14 months or whatever, the whole world has changed. We have a new president.
Yeah.
The economic landscape is very different.
Yeah.
People were worried about inflation in 2024.
Sure.
That was a big part
Sure.
of why Biden lost.
Yeah.
Also, he was ancient. Harris, excuse me, lost for lots of other reasons. But people were worried about
Many.
Bidenflation and that
Right.
whole thing. But now it was more of a partisan argument about inflation. Today, everybody on both parties
Period.
agree,
Yeah.
like, shit's too expensive.
Right.
And so I think the negative attack ads of boogeyman of inflation resonated enough. And I also heard from a lot of people that there was people were like, yeah, but it removes exemptions. There was like this loose reference to like it does something else besides just raise minimum wage.
Right.
I don't really know what it is, but I don't trust it.
Right.
I think that owes to the fact that voters have a base of operation of like no on ballot initiatives. You've got to prove it to me.
Yeah.
And they were too suspicious of this and they
Sure.
couldn't overcome it. And then,
That's fair.
so that is a big thing. And then the other structural
Sure.
thing is that it was a close primary.
Yeah.
And this was the only
Yeah.
thing that we independents could vote on.
Right.
And for a lot of people, it wasn't compelling
worth
enough.
it. Yeah.
Or they were so pissed they didn't get to vote on any
Yeah.
candidates that they said, F you, I'm not even going to show up.
Yeah.
What's the point? Just for this state question? I don't care. And it's not going to affect me. I'm not going to do it.
Sure.
And so I think that's the thing. And then with a sub bullet point of it doesn't affect me
Yeah.
because the minimum wage does not apply to most people.
Sure.
So I think when you look
fair.
at individual impact, like
Yeah.
how does this affect me? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Unless it raises prices.
Right.
And so if it does affect me, it's going to be bad. I don't
Negatively.
want it.
Yeah.
I think that's the argument, which is tough.
It is.
But the hats off to the campaign team. They did the best they could.
I think so. Yeah.
It's super hard to run even a well-funded campaign for 14 months where there's
Sure.
like not really a lot of action.
Yeah.
That's like opportunities there. And and they had already run a big campaign up to the point they qualified.
Right.
They had shot their shot.
Yeah.
And then they had to just kind of trickle along, save
yeah,
their,
energy. Yeah, and
energy for the
resources.
end.
Yeah.
And then do this last minute push. And by then it was a whole different argument.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a profound thought while you were talking, and then I just lost it. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think it will take for Oklahomans to sort of recognize their plight? Because while it doesn't apply to, a lot of Oklahomans, it does still apply to, I would argue, probably 20 to 30% of Oklahomans. We're not,
there's like 200,000
that's
people who would be affected, I think, or maybe it's 200,000 kids. I think it's a big deal. And again, it was a statutory change.
Maybe that was my profound thought. Thank you for saying statutory. I agree with everything that you said, and I almost want to add. I'm going to add a bullet point to your bullet points. The way that your legislature has written, these constitutional questions in the past has been, dare I say, deficient, right? And we, a lot of the times, end up retroactively legislating, right, and fixing the holes.
Right.
And, the best example of that is marijuana, right?
Right.
We have to set up the regulatory, all of the licensing, all of that stuff after it actually passed, right, and became state law. And so I almost wonder if Oklahomans, especially with bigger policy initiatives and objectives like this, almost don't trust that the legislature has written, these ballot questions in a way that is actually implementable.
Yeah. No, 100%. Emily, 832 did pull a majority of votes in 3 counties.
Really?
Do you know which counties they were?
Tulsa, Oklahoma, and God, I remember. Was it just south of McLean? Maybe was it McLean?
Cleveland County.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting too. The 2 metro areas and then Cleveland County. So it's the 3 most.
3 metro areas.
It's
That's Norman.
Yeah, it's the 3 most
Progressive.
3 most populous counties too.
Well, that too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fair.
It might be the 3 wealthiest counties,
Yeah,
which
I
would be
agree.
interesting. I'm trying to click on this little map. Payne County, where Stillwater is, came pretty close. It got 47% up there, which would
Wow.
be
Yeah.
the next one.
That's not bad.
But I think that's somewhat interesting. Same thing, Comanche County down by Lawton got 45% down there.
Wow. Okay. That is interesting.
So I don't know. I mean, I think
It feels like it's not a moot point or an issue that we shouldn't revisit in the future. I do wonder if, again, you write these things in a more clean and explain them. Again, this is a problem with a lot of the campaigns, yes and no, for state questions. And I think you're absolutely correct that the default is for voters to just say, no, screw you guys. I don't trust this. And so it puts the burden always on the yes side of things to explain it to the voters. And I don't know that we've had a yes campaign except for Yay Pot. But even the most recent Yay Pot, right, the recreational,
Right.
failed miserably.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. The burden is really on yes to explain
Yeah.
what the detriments may be, the pitfalls, but do it in a way that you still are selling that policy initiative.
the other thing, and this is a comment for a future episode,
Sure.
because we're getting close to wrapping up here. But I follow a bunch of ballot initiatives around the country
Yeah.
around electoral reform and money in politics
Mm-hmm.
and related issues. And then just a passive interest in ballot initiatives in general, because I think the process is interesting. The campaigns that have been consistently the most powerful, the most successful, meaning that they win and that they are durable, like they get implemented well, they stick, and legislatures don't even try to override them, even if they could. Generally speaking, have been the campaigns that were initiated and truly by the people and built up a groundswell
Yeah.
of support. I think the most dynamic model of this comes out of Michigan from their redistricting campaign back in 2018. It was Voters, Not Politicians. We had Katie Fahey on our podcast back in right after they won, 2019, I think. If you want to go back and listen to the episode, she's since become a good friend, but her model is she wanted to end gerrymandering. She started talking to people. They had meetings like at her house or at the bookstore or whatever, and just started being like, hey, everyone, we want to end gerrymandering. How do we do it? And so they were like, it was just people researching it, figuring it out, writing an outline of what we think a policy should look
Yeah.
like, and basically like crowdsourcing input.
Nice.
They found some attorneys who were interested to help like actually write language in a legal way. And then they did just a ton of town hall meetings, not to persuade people,
Yeah.
but to get to listen to them and say, hey, here's what we think we want to do. How does this sound to you?
Yeah.
Like we've
Love
got
that.
50 people who have put in input. We want more. And they did, I think, 30 town halls in 30 days in the beginning because they wanted to as quick as they could get a robust policy. And when you ask people
Yeah.
for their input,
Yep.
even if you don't agree with them necessarily,
Right.
they're more invested.
Absolutely.
And so I think we, as practitioners of democracy, need to think about this like citizen-led effort as a alternative approach to what has often become more of a campaigner-led effort,
Yeah,
like
top down.
yeah, a funder.
Yeah.
And it's not always, I mean, usually funders don't come in unless there is some support on the ground. But the problem with this is it takes longer. Like you might start today working on something that you're not expecting to get on the ballot for 5 years.
Right.
But and how are you gonna get money? Like, well, you're probably gonna have to do a lot of volunteers. You have to convince people that this is a cause that matters to them,
Right.
and they're willing to commit their time to doing it, to help
Right.
you do town hall meetings in faraway places
Yeah.
and build it up over time. And I think that model is, to me, and I'm kind of waxing poetic here, but like that's like the ethos of a representative democracy.
Agree.
Where the people come together and say, we want change.
Right.
Let's do it together. The campaign in Michigan, I think they had some big money come in towards the end, but they did a whole lot of work for a long time on 15 cents and a free
Yeah.
banana or whatever.
Right.
And I think if you are someone listening to this or watching this and you're feeling discouraged by politics today, the solution, the antidote is you.
Yep. That's right.
Isn't that
Amen.
wild?
No, yeah.
No one's coming
All
to
the
save
time.
us. We
That's
are the
right.
ones we're waiting for.
Yes.
And this is the thing that keeps me awake at night, both for anxiety and for hopeful reasons, where it's like to come up with an idea. And it's not like you have to be a genius to come up with an idea. There are lots of problems in our society
Absolutely.
that we could solve together if we are willing to do the work.
Yep.
So I will
Collectively.
Collectively.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we have an opportunity to end on a good call to action.
I love that.
Do you want to wrap up?
Absolutely.
Emily, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Listeners, thank you for being here as well. If any of that just resonated with you and you want to help shape a better world, not this year, we're looking ahead. Go to our website, letsfixthis.org, and go to sign up or get involved or whatever the button says. I forget. And sign up and send us an email. Send me an email and a message that you want to get involved. And if you've got an idea for something you want to fix, let's talk. Not that we need to do it. You might be the one to do it, but we want to help. We want to be involved. I think we want to help connect people around these ideas.
Absolutely.
If you happen to listen to this before tomorrow, Friday, Juneteenth,
Yes.
you can come. We're going to be at Skydance Brewing tomorrow afternoon,
Woo.
starting at 2:00 because that's when Team USA is playing the World Cup.
Right.
And so a lot of people are off work because it's a holiday. We're going to
Right.
hang out over there. We're still doing our democracy drinks happy hour, at 4:00. But if you come at 2, you get much more time with us
Amen.
and a soccer game.
Nice.
All right. Remember, decisions are made by those who show up. Even if it's only 25% of the electorate, decisions are made by those who showed up.
Yep.
Don't let you be one of the people who didn't show up next time.
Amen.
See you next week.